in Masters.
I know.
We're both in club.
Awesome.
I'm in Masters Club. You're in Leaders Club, Luca.
I know. This
Cool.
being leaders is the only thing I want in karate.
It's the only thing, so you don't want black belt?
Wait a
Good
minute.
morning, you guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Master Luton.
Morning.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys are all having a great morning. We are finishing our book today, which is like, I'm kind of bittersweet about. I am excited because we've had now like 25 mat chats on this book. And we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. But I like going through this book every morning. So I think I'm going to kind of review our notes or some of these mat chats or things like that each morning because it's a good way to start your day, thinking about putting yourself in a positive mindset. So with that being said, we will start off with a little bit of positive words from you guys. So who wants to share? Yesterday, 3 people shared their favorite things about training at Middleburg Martial Arts. Who would like to share today? I'm only going to let 3 people. 3 favorite things about training at Middleburg Martial Arts. Austin? You're unmuted, Austin.
Do we have to do 3 or do we have to do
You
one
just
thing?
one. Sorry, 3 people get to share their one favorite thing.
Okay. My favorite thing about Middleburg Martial Arts is that the training actually helps us with real life consequences.
Yeah, you know what? That's a big one. A lot of people don't think about that, especially kids. You know, everything that we're doing, you're learning self-defense, obviously, which could help you in real life. But most of you guys will never need to use your self-defense. But all of the things that we're learning, like on these mat chats, these the life skills and the leadership skills that we're even me, I'm learning every single day. Even as I teach these things, you guys share stuff with me. That's why I like you guys to answer questions. You teach me stuff too. But all of those things do help us with our lives every day. And actually next week, we have some guest speakers coming in. And the biggest reason why I asked them to come in is because they are very successful individuals. After college, after leaving our program, they went on to do really big, great things. And I kind of wanted them to show you guys how some of the things that we're teaching you guys now will help you in the future and things that you could start working on a little bit more now. So I'm really excited for those, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Next thing, Miss Hannah, what is your favorite thing about training at Middleburg Martial Arts?
You meet so many new people and you make friends.
Yeah, so many friends. Who in here has a good friend at karate? Raise your hand if you have at least one good friend. A lot of you guys probably have a lot of friends at karate, but everyone in here has at least one, or has a role model, or has, you know what, a lot of you guys that are starting to be in CIT or who are in leadership or masters, you have kids who look up to you, so you're the role model for somebody. So a lot of that is really, really fun. What else? One more. Is that Brooklyn? Hi, Brooklyn. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And what is your favorite thing about Middleburg Martial Arts?
My favorite thing about Middleburg Martial Arts is like self-control and discipline and all that.
Yeah. Being able to better yourself for every other area of your life. So Brooklyn said her favorite thing was learning the self-control and the discipline. And that's a big thing to even recognize. So good job, Brooklyn. Okay, next thing, let's go ahead and recap this book so far. So we are almost done with it. So I should be able to go around to all 50 of the people that are on here, and you guys should each be able to tell me a lot of things about this book. But I want a couple people to tell me one thing that they have learned from this book so far. This is going to be the last time we're doing this, you guys. I might do that a little bit next week too. But what is one thing you've learned last time we're doing a recap before a chapter? Miss Stella, what is one thing you've learned so far? What was that?
We can rewire our brain.
Yeah, very good. So we can rewire our brains. Benjamin and Tommy?
That before 18, we hear no about 140,000 times.
Yeah, it was like 148,000 times the average person hears no by the time they're 18. And who remembers, he said that's how many times they hear no, and then he asked them by the time they turned 18, how many times do you remember being told what you can do? And who remembers what that number was? Rihanna? What was it, Rihanna? You're unmuted.
Times.
It's like 3 or 4 times, I think is what he said. So yeah, good. Okay, who else wanted to give a recap? Rihanna, did you want to say something else?
Your brains are way smarter than a computer.
Yeah. So in the very beginning, he gives the analogies comparing our brains to a computer. Our brains are like a computer. And just like in a computer, whatever you type into the computer goes into its programming. It's permanent. It stays there forever. It takes it as a fact, whether it's true or not. And our brains are the same way. Everything that we take in with our 5 senses, everything we hear, everything we say, everything that we take in goes into our brain's programming. But our brains are even smarter than the most intelligent computers, and we are capable of rewiring our brains. So that old programming that wasn't true, or that was restricting us from being successful or from achieving goals, we can rewire that. We can replace our negative self-talk with positive self-talk and rewire our brains. I just saw a hand and then it moved. Who else wanted to give a recap? Landon.
77% of what you hear is negative.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we're talking about everything we hear goes into our programming, and 77% of everything that we hear is negative. So if we let all of that go into our programming, is our programming going to be positive or negative? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Positive or negative? Yeah, it's going to be majority negative because 77% of what we hear is negative. So we have to control what we let go into our programming, and we have to add positive self-talk and change that. Because if you're saying positive things to yourself all the time, then you're not hearing 77% negative anymore. All right, anything else you guys want to recap? Something else you guys have learned so far? Abby? Confidence, yes. So positive self-talk develops confidence. That's very good. Very, very good. Anything else? That was a pretty good summary, you guys. All right, is that Donovan? Go ahead, Donovan, you're unmuted.
Your brain is 75% water.
We did not learn that from that book, but thanks for sharing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go into our last couple chapters. We're gonna cover the last chapters today. I'm like kind of sad, but it's okay because we're gonna start something. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is like one of my favorite books. I used to teach gold meetings on it a lot when I was in high school. I taught those gold meetings a lot. It was my favorite one. Okay, so chapter 23 is the first one we're gonna go into. I skipped stars. It's all right. We'll go into chapter 23 and we'll do our stars at the end, guys. Okay, so chapter 23 is talking about overcoming personal growth stasis. So PGS is personal growth stasis. Who wants to take a stab at what personal growth stasis is? Brayden?
I believe that personal growth stasis is the amount of personal character or personal growth that you gain from doing things that improve your character.
Okay, I could see part of that a little bit. That's close. All right, so what it is, it's basically like being stuck, being at a standstill, not being able to move forward with your personal growth. Okay, so all of us have talked about throughout this entire book, we've all talked about different things that we want to do better. And I'm going to ask who did their homework with the 10 negative self-talks and then who gave the positive. I'll ask that in a minute. But what PGS is staying in one place. So he says, like if two opposing positions are where you've been in your past, where your negative thoughts, where your brain wiring, where you've been in the past, and then where you can be in the future. your unlimited future and where you want your life to go. And we're kind of in between those two things, because we said that negative self-talk can stop you from achieving those things. Telling yourself, I'm never going to be able to finish that much schooling. I'm never going to be able to get straight A's my entire career and get into University of Florida. I'm never going to be able to get my 3rd degree black belt. I'm never going to be able to break a board with a ridge hand. Whatever you tell yourself that you can't do is limiting you from achieving that success. So you're at this middle point, and that PGS is you just stopping right there and not being able to do anything about it. Not moving forward, not progressing, not having personal growth because of the self-talk, negative self-talk, not being able to put it into action. He said it's because your old programming is holding you back from your goal, from moving forward. Okay, so we talked to the maybe 3rd mat chat about like a pep rally, like a motivational speaking event where these people get so pumped up and so excited to change their lives, and they learn how to do it, but then they leave, and what happens? Do they do it or they don't do it? Who remembers? They don't do it. Who remembers why? Why? If they just got so excited and so motivated and they learned all these skills to change their lives and self-betterment, why don't those things last? He did say some people do implement them right away, but it doesn't always last. Why do you guys think that doesn't last? Is that Mr. Paul? It almost looked like Evelyn's hand. Okay, Mr. Paul?
They don't believe it themselves, that they needed the coordinator or whatever facilitator there to go and run his pie hole constantly. So they don't believe it themselves. So once they leave the building, it all goes away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's perfect. So yeah, we are so reliant on external motivation. In that situation, it's relying on that coach to tell you to do these things and get you motivated. And that's great. But then the motivation fades and then you don't do it, right? Or he says, and there's some people do implement the things that they learn, but then they revert back to their old habits. And it's because their programming didn't change. They didn't change anything in their head. They didn't change their confidence. They didn't change the way they thought about themselves. So a lot of people, a really good example of this is weight loss. A lot of people who lose weight, even massive amounts of weight, gain it back. Not everybody. There are plenty of people who lose weight and stick with it. But there are a lot of people who lose weight and then gain it back and go back to that same weight. And it's because that's how they see themselves. They see themselves as this weight, and their beliefs affect their actions and that whole pattern, right? And so they start acting that way because that's how they see themselves, and they start and the results end up being the same. So good. Okay. He says this is what personal growth stasis actually does. It stops your growth. It wastes your time. It drains your energy. It lowers your self-esteem. It affects your health. It keeps you off focus. It justifies doing nothing. So it gives you an excuse to say, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not going to do this today, or I'm not going to be able to do this part of achieving that goal. It stops you from setting new goals. It makes inaction a habit, and it reinforces negative programs, and ultimately it causes you to fail. He says it's very energy draining. And how can you feel good about yourself if you don't believe that you're doing what you should be doing? So, and a lot of this, people, they recognize what changes they need to make. They recognize the goals that they want to achieve, but they don't have the self-talk, the confidence, the internal motivation to achieve them. So they're stuck right there. So a lot of people lose, and you see that everywhere. You guys have probably all seen that. You see it in karate class. You see someone who, and it's honestly, as an instructor, I think it's probably one of the most frustrating things, because there's not anything that as an instructor, as anybody else on the outside can do to change it. But you see a student who wants to do something, you see them, they like want to do a number 30 kicks, a jump, spin, crescent kick, right? Okay, so they want to do this kick and it's really hard, and they can't do it. And they shut down is what happens, and they don't ever learn it. And then you have students who they decide they want to do this kick, they get private lessons, they have this positive mindset of I'm going to learn to do it, I'm going to learn to do it, they're practicing it constantly, and they become the best one at that kick. Who has seen somebody who gets discouraged, doesn't think they're going to be able to do something and just stays where they are and kind of shuts down and gets upset about it, right? Anywhere, in school, in playing a sport, in karate, in reading, and anything. Raise your hand if you've seen somebody get discouraged and just kind of give up on a goal. Yeah, most of you guys have. Very good. Well, that's not very good. That's not good. But it's good that you guys see that and recognize that. Okay, so he talks about how to get past that stasis. He says there are definitely things that you can do, because remember, we are in control of our brains. We are in control of our beliefs. We are in control of our thoughts. We are in control of our attitudes. We are in control of our actions. We are in control of the wiring of our brain. Okay, so one, as you read this, set a goal to bring positive self-talk permanently into your life. We have talked about so many different homework assignments, so many different ways for you guys to start positive self-talk. Who is this actually a goal for? Because I know not all of you guys, we just said this, you know, you go to a conference and you get all these ideas and how to change your mindset. That doesn't mean you're actually going to do it. So who in here actually has the goal of implementing positive self-talk? Who is going to actually try to? Who has actually started implementing positive self-talk in their lives? Or who has a goal to start doing it after these? Raise your hand. Good, good. Most of you guys do. Very good. Okay. Now, here's another one. You guys know this. I've said this before plenty of times. I think I said it this January at the Gold Meeting. A goal that is not written down. Well, actually, I'm going to ask you what you guys think. A goal that is not written down has less than blank % chance of coming to life. What percentage chance does that goal have of coming to life if it is not written down? Benjamin? Unmute yourself, Benjamin.
32%.
Nope, that's really high. It's less than, Miss Rochelle?
Less than 1%.
Close, it's less than 10%. But yeah, you were on the right track, but it's a really ridiculously low number. You have less than a 10% chance of achieving a goal. Who in here has a goal? Raise your hand. Every single person in here has a goal. I know you have a karate goal at least. So think about your karate goal. Who in here,
raise your hand.
Raise your hand if you have written down your karate goal. If you've done that visualization sheet. I know I was just talking, Ms. Rochelle, about you guys doing your visualization sheet, Skylar getting you to do your visualization sheet, because that is writing down your goal and visualizing your goal. And what he says in here next is he says if you write down your goal, you immediately increase your chances of achieving it by 75%. 10% to 75% just by writing out that goal. That's huge. That's powerful. And everyone in here said they had a goal. So I want everyone to make sure you have your goals written down. If you have not done if you didn't do a vision board in January, do a vision board. That's huge. And if you have not done your visualization sheet for karate, do your visualization sheet. Okay, so this was his wording of his goal. My goal is to practice positive self-talk every day and make it a permanent part of my life. So if you want to start implementing this, then write out that goal. My goal is to practice positive self-talk every day and make it a permanent part of my life. Write that down. Write it down. If you want to implement positive self-talk, write that down. All right, the second step to overcoming that PGS is listen to self-talk sessions for a minimum of 15 minutes a day. And I know I've talked about this. He actually has some resources. If you go to shadhelmsetter.com, you can get some of those. Link is in the back of this book, but it's the author's name, so you could just Google it if you don't see it. But he has some pre-recorded self-talk sessions. But I encourage you guys to make your own, because you're unique. What your goals are unique. What your negative self-talk, what your old programs are that you are rewiring right now, those are unique. So write it out for yourselves and record it. That's the best way. If you write it out and you record yourself reading it, and then you listen to that every day, you are doing self-talk, you're doing self-speak, you're doing self-write, you're doing recorded self-talk. All of those in one. So try to get that done. All right. Number 3, write a list of old negative self-talk programs you've been using in the past you'd like to change. He says it's all about awareness and focus. So this is exactly what I asked you guys to do yesterday with writing down 10 negative self-talk programmings that you have and then rewriting a new positive self-talk phrase. So who did that? I'm gonna write these down. Who did their 10 negative self-talk statements and then wrote down a positive self-talk replacement? Raise your hand really high. I'm gonna ask you to share just one of those when I get to you, okay? Miss Hannah, will you share one of those?
I am bad at singing, and then my positive thing is I am great at singing.
Very good. Good job, Hannah. Miss Rochelle, do you want to share one of yours?
I put that I'm basically bad at cleaning my house. So that I put for the rewire is I'm going to start cleaning my house.
Good.
And then
That's an easy
Catherine,
one. That's an easy one to say. And then did Miss Catherine have one too?
say yes.
Yes.
Remember what
Okay,
yours
Catherine,
is?
can you tell me what one of yours is?
Mine is to clean my bedroom, and I always
And listen to mommy, because you said that you were bad at listening to mommy.
Good. Well, very good. And you said positive statements for those. Good job, Miss Catherine. All right, Miss Cassie, what's one of yours?
One of mine was I am lazy, and then I wrote I have a lot of energy.
There you go. Good. Very good. All right, Miss Destiny. What's one of yours, my dear?
I'm bad at sewing, and I wrote I'm very good at sewing.
There you go. Good job. Okay. Mr. Paul? Miss Nicole? So there's like the little button to go to the next page is covering you and where Paul is. So all I could see is your hand sticking out in the same spot. So sorry, Miss Nicole. I can't unmute you though. You want to unmute yourself?
Okay, here I am. I need to get things done. This is involving procrastination. And I get everything done in a timely manner and on time.
Very good. That was a really good one because if you guys saw what she did, the first one wasn't as direct as I'm bad at getting things done or I don't get things done, but I need to get things done. And he said what that is when we say I need to, I should, I want to, what we're telling ourselves is I should, I need to, I want to, but I'm not going to right now, right? And that is negative. So we need to rewire that and exactly what she did. Very good, very good. Anybody else? Mr. Luca. What is one of yours, Luca?
Talking too much, and I changed that to I will control my actions.
Good, good. Okay, and you know, it would be even better is saying I do control my actions. So remember, we want to put it in present tense. So not saying I will because that means in the future, but we want to say right now, I do control my actions. So go ahead and write that change on there. Say I do control my actions. All right, Miss Abby, what was one of yours?
I can't. I am bad at making my bed. I am good at making my bed.
Very good. That was perfect. Good job, Miss Abby. All right, who else did it? Miss Kathy. What was one of yours?
So I said I get frustrated easily, and my positive one was I am calm and collected under pressure.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, who else? Landon. What's one of yours, Landon?
One of mine is I don't like to clean my room. The rewire was I will enjoy cleaning my room because it makes my room clean.
Yeah, so even if you don't enjoy, that's exactly me. I don't necessarily enjoy cleaning, but I enjoy having a clean house, right? So I do things to make it fun, make it enjoyable. Good job, Landon. All right, Connor. What was one of yours, Connor?
One of mine was I'm bad at wiring stuff and making stuff, and my positive is I am good at wiring stuff and making stuff.
There you go. Good job. Miss Becky. What was one of yours, Miss Becky?
Mine is I am not a very technological person. Like I'm not very techy, as we all know. So mine is I am learning and growing every day.
Very nice. Good job, Miss Becky. All right. And is that Isaiah? Hey, good. How are you?
So one of mine was I can't do like I can't draw stuff, and then I changed it to I'm a good drawer.
Very nice. Very good job. Good. Okay, I think that was it. Anybody else that did the 10? Okay, good. All right. So we'll go back to this. I'm going to read this part of this chapter. He says, the more you're aware of your self-talk and your goal to change it each day, the more you focus on doing that, the more neural activity you'll create. Remember, we talked about this. If you're using the right side of your brain, which is positive self-talk, uses the right side of your brain, then you're creating more neural pathways that are causing you to be even more optimistic. And it's the opposite with if you use the more negative self-talk you use, your brain is growing in a way that's going to create even more negativity. Whereas the more positive you use, your brain's going to grow in that area and create more optimism. Okay, and the faster and stronger you'll begin to wire the new directions of your brain. All right. If you follow those recommendations, you will be able to defeat stasis. You'll become a positive self-talker and your life will change in wonderful ways. And all those dreams you've dreamed will have a chance to come true. You can do this, and I know you can. Okay, last chapter. Okay, last chapter. So this one it's called To Change or Not to Change. He says it's likely that you already know what you would like to do. And if this is the case, if your innermost mind tells you that it's time, then it's time. So what he's saying is basically like, if you think you're ready to make this change, then it's time to make the change. If you're ready to start working towards this goal, then you're ready to start working towards it. If you're ready to make a change in your self-talk, then do it. Take the action, take the initiative, and make it happen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read this little paragraph in here. When William Shakespeare wrote the words "to be or not to be," who's heard that before? To be or not to be? Yeah, okay. He may not have known that he touched the essence of self. To be or not to be, that is the question. To become or not to become, to achieve or not to achieve, to do or not to do. The answer to that question is the answer that will determine the future and the success of each of us. And what he's saying there is it's completely up to you. It's in your control. You say, I'm going to do this, and you do it. Or you say, I'm going to leave it up to chance and we'll see what happens. And then you're probably not going to do it. All right. Are we getting anywhere or aren't we? Are we getting by, or are we doing the best we can? Are we doing what we want to do, or what we like to do, or would we like to do something else, something better? I think that's important to think about too. All right. Would you like to make a change? So everyone in here has said they have at least one goal that they want to achieve, one problem they want to fix. So fixing a problem or wanting to make a change, He says, I have known people who've wanted nothing more than to fix a problem at home or work, wanted to make a change, something small. They needed something different in their lives. And what they did instead is, and you guys have probably all seen a movie where this happened, or all heard a story where this happened, or maybe known somebody where this happened. But what they do is they change something major in their lives, looking for something different. So he talks about people switching jobs, switching careers, wanting a new husband, a new wife, a new school. You see this with kids in elementary school a lot. They don't like their teacher. They say, I don't like my teacher. I'm not doing well in school because of my teacher. And sometimes you see the parents right on board with them. I don't like this teacher. She's just not doing well because of the teacher. So you see things like that. You see something wrong. There's a little problem happening, and people try to change a big thing in their life because they really need their lives to change. But really, it's usually inside of ourselves. Usually, kids with their teachers, it's something you're doing. As a student, I know I had teachers that I didn't get along with once or twice, and it's, you have to look inside yourself and see, how can I change this? You can't blame it. You have to take self-responsibility, and you have to make the change. So what he's talking about, those people who moved to a different state or had massive changes in their lives, they were searching for something on the outside to fix something that was wrong inside, when really a lot of that is your positive self-talk, your self-image, your own happiness. That's internal. And that's something that you can change with rewiring your brain. But changing jobs, changing relationships, not being friends with somebody anymore, changing teachers at school, that's not going to change it. Okay, because no matter where you go, you're taking your old programming with you. So if you're in a classroom and you go to a different teacher, you're taking that old programming with you that's saying, I am bad at this, my teachers are mean and it's their fault, or whatever it is, okay? If we want to make any important change in our beliefs, attitudes, emotions, behaviors, actions, or results, we should at the outset decide who is in command and who or what is in control of the change that takes place. Who do you guys think that is? Who do you think is in control of the change that takes place in your life? Point to that person. It's you. Yeah, very good. All right. Change occurs either as the result of something outside of you that happens to you, or as the result of something within yourself that causes the change to take place. Okay? So that does, little things he talks about in here. Where is it? On like the next page or something. How we talked about, right here. It was the next section. External change. The external change, internal change, two different kinds of things. External change is something that usually happens really naturally, casually. We don't notice it happening. It's little things that happen to us constantly. So it might be, he lists a million things. I'm not going to go over all of them. Things people say to you, things that happen to you, things that others do in front of you. Any of those kinds of things. This can be stuff you're seeing on social media. This can be stuff that you're seeing at school. This can be stuff you're seeing in karate class, things that happen in church, things that happen wherever. Those are all shaping your beliefs and your actions and your attitudes and all of those things, but they're so small we don't realize them. Okay, so that's the difference. We just kind of talked about those two different things. You taking control and making a change yourself, or letting little things take control and make changes to your programming for you. Okay, so he says, what we become a part of becomes a part of us. So whatever we become a part of, whatever things that we're experiencing, seeing, taking in with our five senses, all of those things, those become who we are. You are what you think about most of the time, right? Okay, he says in here that change is created by personal choice. A type of change is created by personal choice, and that's more of the internal change, saying that I'm deciding I'm making this change. You're putting yourself in control, and you can take the actions and make that change. So that's, how you live, who you become, that's completely up to you. And who has heard of, there's so many people, I can't even think of one now. If you know of one, give me a good example. But there are some really, really successful millionaires, celebrities who came from really bad situations. And those people, they're really impressive stories, really powerful stories. Robert Downey Jr. was a good one. Oprah was a good one. There are quite a few. But they're really powerful stories because they're perfect examples of how, situational self-talk and how our external motivators and those kinds of things that could change us don't have to, because ultimately we are in charge of who we become, what we do, the actions we take, the mindset we have. We can control that no matter what has happened to us, no matter what life we came from, anything like that. So what you decide to do next will determine what you do next. So what you decide to do today is going to determine what you do today. Who wants to be productive today? Who has something they want to do today? Maybe it's virtual schooling. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's positive self-talk. Something that you want to get done today. I think Miss Ann's at work, so I'm sure she has quite a few things she wants to get done today, right? So what you decide to do today is what you're going to do today, period. It's not caused by anybody else. It's you saying, I'm going to be focused. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to prioritize my schoolwork first. So right after Mat Chat, I'm going to finish my reading or whatever else you have left. Okay. Learn how to think what you think, and you will begin to determine and redirect most of your future for yourself. So basically he's saying, learn how to control your thoughts, learn how to recognize that you are in control and you're going to be able to achieve the things you want to achieve. You're going to be able to guide yourself towards your goals. Okay, the last thing he talks about in here, okay, is all of the growth that we've had. I know we talked about this in the beginning when we were talking about being grateful for being able to do virtual schooling and virtual karate training and things like that. We have come so far from the last pandemic. There are so many differences. People did not have Zoom classes. They could not do mat chats. They could not do Google Classroom and their online schooling and virtual karate classes and all of that kind of stuff. So in every area of our lives, we have come so far with technology, even material wealth and conveniences. I mean, could you guys imagine living without plumbing, indoor plumbing? Because people did that, you know, so living without air conditioning, even in Florida, people did that. So we have so many things that have become conveniences, so many tools and appliances and things like that that can help us achieve such great things. And we have to remember to be grateful for those things and utilize those things and go further than people have in the past. So he says you need to learn to manage your own mind. Okay, the last little section I'm going to read. We have learned that what happens next for each of us is more up to us than we might have thought. It is up to, I like this, it is up to us what we think. I like that. So it's more, I'm going to read that again. What happens next is more up to us than we might have thought. It's up to us what we think. Okay, talk to yourself, learn the words, the right words, wire them in and use them. Make your self-talk a positive, everyday, self-directing habit. Talk to yourself in a way that is kind, loving, caring, strong, demanding, and determined. Talk to yourself in the right way every day. When you do, you will give yourself the greatest gift you will ever give. And remember, last quote from this book. Okay, you are everything that is. Your thoughts, your lives, your dreams come true. You are everything you choose to be. You are as unlimited as the endless universe. Yay, that's the end of the book. Do you guys have any questions about those last two chapters? Anything? Okay, so one thing that I was thinking about doing is I really want you guys to do a recorded self-talk. I think that would be really powerful for each one of you guys. Who in here would listen to it? Because I don't want to take the time and do it unless people are going to actually use it. Who in here would actually listen to it if I did like a recording, like a recorded self-talk of like, I am a martial artist, and it said all of the things, like a lot of the things in here, and a lot of the things that we talk about, being a leader, being confident, being ambitious, being productive. Who would listen to that if I did that? Quite a few of you guys would. Okay, then maybe I will. All right, that answered my question. I was like, oh, this is a great idea, but I don't want to do it if no one's going to listen to it. But I think if I do, it would be really powerful. And I think about half of the people on here, which is about almost 30 people, raise their hands. So I think if I could help 30 of you guys, that would be pretty awesome. All right, so last thing is stars. So any other character building sheets for today? Oh, while you're getting your character building sheets up and ready, I'm going to talk about next week. I am so excited about next week. So we have Mr. Gourlay coming in on Monday. He's our first guest speaker. He is the, Miss Ann knows him very well. He's a third-degree black belt with us. He trains with us every once in a while, but he's a very busy guy, so he doesn't train as often as he used to. He used to teach a lot. He taught a lot of my classes when I was testing for my maybe my second-degree black belt. He taught a lot of those classes. He is a senior vice president for Bank of America. So he's going to come in and he does a lot with Bank of America and their staffing, teaching leadership. He actually, when I asked him to do this, he was like, yeah, that sounds great. And when you're talking about leadership, here's one of my podcasts if you want to use that for your stuff. So so he has some really good skills for leadership to teach, to share with us. And he can also relate to you guys from a martial arts perspective. So I'm really excited about that. And then on Tuesday, we have Mr. David Ayers, who was valedictorian of Middleburg High School and is about to graduate from Annapolis Naval Academy in May, which is incredibly hard to get into. And then to complete it is impressive. The next day, Miss Leah Ayers, his sister, also valedictorian at Middleburg High School. She graduated from Annapolis Naval Academy a couple of years ago. and now she's an officer in the military. She's going to come talk to us about leadership. And if you are not familiar with Annapolis Naval Academy, if you just search it, anything you see on it will be about how strong their leadership education is. They, oh man, I don't know the numbers, but they have more CEOs of major companies have come out of Annapolis than any other, like Harvard or Yale or any other Ivy League school or anything like that. So leadership is something that they teach very, very strongly. So we're lucky to have them coming and talking to us. We also have Miss Gwen. Who in here remembers Miss Gwen? Miss Ann does. I think that's probably Tommy does. Yeah, so Miss Maya does. Miss Becky does. Yes, she actually was one of the instructors when Miss Becky started. She was one of Miss Maya's original instructors. So she went to the University of Florida. She graduated from Middleburg High School, went to University of Florida on a full ride scholarship, and she graduated and she's doing event management now. So she's gonna be with us the following week. We have Mr. Jacob who's coming to talk to us. Jacob Rupar, I don't know who remembers him. He was one of our black belts. He is, I think he's still in medical school, but he's going to UCF and he was doing, I mean, he's been in school for a long time. I went to school with him when we were younger, but he's doing big things too. And then oh my gosh, we have so many really cool speakers. I'm going to stop there. But Mr. Gourlay is the one on Monday. So make sure you're on that. If you know anyone, have any friends who have not been on Mat Chat, make sure they get on Monday for that, because that's something, he doesn't get to come out and talk to us very often. So the fact that we're virtual, when I like had this, actually someone gave me the idea, but I was like, this is genius, because all these people are very successful all over the country. They don't have a chance to come talk to us very often, but since we're all virtual and we're all gathering anyways, and they all volunteered, they were all so happy to help and really excited to do this. So we're really lucky to have that starting Monday. Okay, so now stars, who has character building sheets? Go ahead and hold them up. Mr. Luca, how many do you have, Luca?
I have one for the karate homework.
And then the 3 from your.
And then I need the 3 for this one.
Perfect. Good. So you have 4 total. Very nice. So I have a lot. And everyone who told me one of their 10, who did the 10 list and told me one of them, I've got you down for getting those 3 stars. Okay. So Luca got 4. Everybody clap for Luca. Good job, bud. All right, Miss Aaliyah. How many do you have, Aaliyah?
I have a total of 4, ma'am.
Perfect. And which ones are they?
I have the self-discipline sheet, builder character 1, companionship, and then the book sheet.
Very nice. Everybody clap for Aaliyah. Good job, Aaliyah. Okay, Miss Aubrey. Miss Aubrey, how many do you have?
She has 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the book club sheet.
Okay, how many total is that?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, I think.
12?
12 stars.
All right, excellent job, Aubrey. Good job, my dear.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right, who else? Miss Kathy, how many do you have?
Miss Rachel.
Bye, Abby. Miss
It's
Kathy, how many do you
1
have?
star in addition to the 3 that I had earlier. So the self-discipline sheet.
Okay, and how many total was that?
So the 1 self-discipline sheet and then the 3 from earlier.
Perfect. All right, good job, Miss Kathy. Everyone clap for Miss Kathy. She's been doing a lot. I think like almost every day you've turned in one of them, which is awesome. Very awesome. Good job. Okay, who else? Miss Becky?
Am I muted? So I have eating healthy,
Good.
book club, karate, and self-discipline. So I have 4 plus the 3 that you did earlier.
Very nice. 7. Good job, Miss Becky. Everyone clap for her. Good. Miss Rihanna. How many do you have, Rihanna?
4. I have
4.
the book club sheet. And I have 3 building sheets.
Good. So you said 4 total?
Yes, ma'am.
Good job. Everyone clap for Ree. Very good. Very good. Okay. Who else had some? I know I saw a couple other ones. Miss, is that Catherine? Is she holding up some character building sheets?
black belt board she wanted to show you.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. I love it. I love it. And you will get a star for that, Miss Catherine. Good job. Okay. And did you guys ever get the visualization sheets yet, or are we still waiting on those?
They didn't come in with the packet that she sent. She only sent character building sheets.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make sure that gets sent to you guys today, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good job, Catherine. All right. Who else has stars? Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. And that's it. Okay. Well, good job, you guys. We probably had like 70 stars turned in today from everyone who did the 10 positive self-talk. So very, very good. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. And raise your hand if you're going to be on Matt Chat on Monday to do the leadership talk with Mr. Gourlay. Yeah, if you guys want to grab your parents to sit in on that, or anyone who's around you in the house to sit in on that, that's going to be a really good one. So we will see you guys all on Monday. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll see you Monday. Yeah. Bye, guys. If anyone has a question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. Bye. Goodbye.
Miss Rachel.
Yes.
Who's going to my soul?
Miss Rachel.
Who said Miss Rachel? Wave. Who is it?
The meeting starts in a minute, right? As soon as you're
Yes,
off?
Miss Nicole, we are going to start early.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.